Hello and welcome to another episode of the sailing adventures of Scamper. If you've been watching my previous videos, you'll know where we are with regards to servicing the engine, and I previously ran into some difficulty replacing the engine anode. Now the engine anode that is in the engine is the type that Beta Marine supply as a kind of one-piece nut and anode all in one. And I've decided now to go for an anode where you can replace them as you need them, so a pencil anode that screws into the nut. Now the nut that I've bought for the engine is a 14mm nut, but the threads should be the same, and the one I'm taking out is a 17mm, so that should hopefully be the only difference. So what I'm going to do next is replace the anode and go from there. I'm also going to see if I can inspect the heat exchanger stack. Again, if you've seen any of my previous videos, you will know that when we bought the boat, the heat exchanger was partially blocked and the amount of raw water coming through the heat exchanger was significantly reduced. That was repaired or serviced by the Beta Marine specialist just adjacent to Gosport Marina back in March this year. So I've bought a little device to drain some of the engine coolant off, to kind of suck it out, because I can't even see the bung on what I believe is the starboard side of the engine to drain the coolant, let alone get anything underneath it. There just isn't room. I've bought a little pump to remove the coolant that's in the heat stack in as much as I can, and I've bought the appropriate ready mix coolant to replace it as well. So let's get started and see how it goes. And I should add, I've already got the seals to the end caps of the heat exchanger, and I'll replace those at the same time. Okay, let's get going. So as you can see here, this is the device that I've bought to try and remove the coolant from the heat exchanger. I'll try and remove as much coolant as I can, in the hope of keeping the bilge as clear and clean as possible. So let's give this a go. No idea how well it's going to work, but we will see. Okay, nothing's happening at the moment. Right, so I am a complete and utter numpty. Now, when I was looking at these in Halfords, it was surrounded by siphons and kind of one-way, non-return devices to remove fluid from areas in an engine. So I assume this pump was to extract liquids from the engine in those kind of hard to reach places, when in fact it is actually a pump, which is of no use to me whatsoever. So maybe I'll abandon removing the coolant for now and see if I can pick up a siphon or something like that at some point. All was not lost after all. I took the pump assembly out of the bottle and popped the end into the heat exchanger reservoir and drained the fluid from around the heat exchanger into the bottle. So kind of used it in reverse. So it wasn't a complete loss, and actually it was pretty quick, simple and mess free, more importantly. So I'll just flip the camera around so you can see what I've done. There we go. So as you can see, we've got the coolant out of the heat exchanger reservoir into the bottle there, and I've taken the little pump assembly out of the bottle and pop the end of that into the heat exchanger just to drain off as much coolant as I could. I may try and pop a hose or something on the end of that to see if I can get a bit more out, and go from there before taking the end cap off the heat exchanger on the forward part of the heat exchanger. Here you can see me undoing the bolt that holds the forward cap onto the heat exchanger, and I was really careful not to lose the seal, and as you can see, the seal is still in situ, pressed against the heat stack. To remove the heat stack, it was necessary then to undo the rear bolt, which wasn't as easy as the forward bolt, simply because you can't see it. And again, I was really careful not to lose anything. I have managed to get the heat exchanger out. There we go. So you can see some of the channels that are open, some of the other channels that aren't. So yeah, it has started to block a little bit, and that's only been since the end of March, since we had it professionally cleaned and serviced by a beta engineer. So that just goes to show that, yeah, it's definitely worth inspecting this annually and just seeing what conditions it's in. Now, all I've got to do now is clean that, and not quite sure how I'm going to do that yet. This is the rear end cap, and you can tell that because it's got the anode bolted into place, and the area where you see the most calcification, if that's actually what it is the seawater intake before it goes through the heat exchanger and exits through the exhaust system. I found a little screwdriver just there, which is the correct diameter. Actually, it's just a touch smaller than the diameter of the little tubes in the heat exchanger stack, and that's pushed out the majority of the debris and given both the front and the rear of the heat exchanger a good wipe off. Maybe try and run some fresh water through it and see if that helps. But let's turn the camera around so you can see what it looks like at the moment. That is the front section of the heat exchanger there, and you can see I've given it a bit of a clean off, and we've got the rear section there. Now if I hold this up to the light, you can see daylight through all the holes all the way around the heat exchanger now. So I think I'm going to give it a bit of a stream off with some fresh water. Now I've also cleaned the heat exchanger stack end cap. This is the aft one that goes out to the exhaust, and as you can see, still a bit of debris in there. I think needs a bit of a stiff brush on there really to try and get some of those what looks like kind of calcium deposits out of the bottom half there, but that's not too bad. And you'll notice I've taken out the engine anode as well, just to make cleaning that out a bit easier. And that's the debris there that's come out. So it doesn't look much, but obviously enough to cause a bit of a blockage, and I think if I'd left it for the rest of this season, I think that would have just got worse, and we may well have been in the same boat, pun intended, as we were when we first bought Scamper up in Gosport, when the heat exchanger was actually blocked a lot worse than this. I've used a stiff brush to clean up the heat exchanger stack and also the forward and aft end caps, and as you can see here, I am replacing the pencil anode in preparation for the reinstalling of the forward and aft end caps onto the heat exchanger. The replacement of the end caps and the heat exchanger is exactly the same as the removal, but obviously in reverse. Now the trick that I found was doing up the bolts bit by bit, alternating forward and aft to ensure that the heat exchanger stack is placed in the center of the heat exchanger body. The trickiest part of the rebuild is ensuring that the O-ring seals remain in the correct place when tightening up the end caps. To ensure that they did stay in the correct location, I used a very small amount of marine grease to hold the O-ring seals against the heat exchanger stack when tightening up the bolts, and this also meant that they didn't fall out of the heat exchanger when placing the end caps. You join us the day after I took the heat exchanger apart, and I did get it all back together again yesterday with the use of a head torch. So with it being November, it gets dark by about 4:30 now, or dark enough in here so you can't really see what you're doing, but luckily with the head torch I was able to reassemble the heat exchanger, but I didn't have time to test it, so that's what my plan is for the first job today, is test the engine and make sure we don't have any leaks. If we do have some leaks, unfortunately I'm going to have to drain the engine coolant and reassemble again and go from there, so fingers crossed. Okay, so the electric is on, the key is in, I've got the hose, let's give it a go. You what? Yeah, it's because I held the key for too long. 10 minutes, so let's turn it off. After checking the forward and aft parts of the heat exchanger and the exhaust elbow, I was happy to report there were no leaks. We had a good supply of water out of the exhaust and everything was working as expected. Okay, so that's the engine servicing pretty much done. One thing I haven't touched is the fuel system. Everything looks okay, and in the manual I don't think it says you need to do it every year anyway, and as I've said before, it was done in March this year. So what I'm going to do now is pop the cap on the strainer and pop the steps and everything back into position and get on with some other jobs. Coming up on the next episode of the Sailing Adventures of Scamper, we will be concentrating on our headlining and fixing some droopy areas that have started to come off the coach roof. We hope you have found today's video useful and enjoyed watching, and don't forget to like the video and hit that subscribe button to make sure that you don't miss any future episodes of the Sailing Adventures of Scamper. Thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you soon. Cheers. What is she doing behind me? Can't really see.
I'm on priming duties. I'm excitable because I am putting the second coat on in the lockers and it's looking really nice. And I wasn't here yesterday because I was in London, so I'm getting to it with this. That's it.
I'll start again. So.